8 o'clock on a Sunday evening. Breaking the crowd shuffles in. I just here. There's an old man. He's sitting next to me, making love to his tonic and gin.
Not really sure how it goes, but it's sad and it's sweet, and I knew it complete when I wore a younger man's clothes. La la la, la la la, la la la, la la la, la la. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody. I hope you are, and you've got us feeling all right. Now John at the bar, he's a friend of mine. Gets my drinks for free, and he's quick with a joke, or he'll light up your smoke, but there's some place that he'd rather be. He said, John, I believe this is killing me, as a smile ran away from his face. Oh, I know I could be a big movie star if I could get out of this place. La la la, la la la, la la la, la la la, la. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Join in with me now, come on. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling all right. He's a real estate novelist who never had time for a wife. And he's talking with Davy, who's still in the Navy, probably will be for life. And the waitress is practicing politics as the businessmen slowly get stoned. Oh, they're sharing a drink they call loneliness, but it's better than drinking alone. La la la, la la la, la la la, la la la, la la. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling all right. Pretty good crowd for a Sunday, just like this. Yeah, oh yeah. And the manager, well, she musters up a half-baked, bad week kind of smile. Yeah, it's a smile for you lot, but you gonna smile for me? Give me a smile for me. Yeah, that's sarcasm, I can tell, because she knows that it's me, without any doubt. It's me. They've been coming to see, and our lovely guests, we've got some fantastic guests for you tonight, to forget about life and help you along for a while. And the piano, it sounds like a carnival, and the microphone, it smells like a beer. And they sit at the bar and put bread in my jar and say, man, what are you doing here? La la la, la la la, la la the
year,
Christmas
hasn't
tree.
it?
Okay, we have still
got the Christmas tree. It's looking a bit sad and a bit
now.
tatty now because the granddaughters have been in having a little
And I
rummage
have
with
to
it.
tell you, but we're not getting rid of it.
It's
The
staying,
back
isn't it?
doors will open eventually, and I'll
Yes,
tip it
it's
out.
fall out.
Decorations, it will just fall out into the garden. But I'm not getting rid of it because I like it, and I see it from the garden and all the twinkly lights, and I think I'm sticking it in, leaving it in there. So, a little bit of. Let there be you, let there be me, let there be oysters under the sea, let there be wind, occasional rain, chili con carne, sparkling champagne, let there be birds sing in the trees, someone to bless me whenever I sneeze. Let there be cuckoos like in a dove, but first of all, please, let there be love. Let there be cuckoos like in a dove, but first of all, please, but most of all, please, but first of all, please, let there be love. 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 Oh, oh, oh,
And indeed there will be. Lots of love tonight.
Oh, will there? Oh. What's the time? Oh, let's have a look.
Yeah,
Now,
keep going.
I just thought I'd do this one for anybody who's listening who likes a bit of Elton. And well, I've sung it before. Sung it again,
Okay.
I used to do
Play
it
it.
in this
It's
restaurant.
great.
Remember that? I used to do it for you. Remember?
Did.
It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside. I'm not one of those who can easily hide. Ooh, I don't have much money. Boy, if I did, I'd buy a big house where we both could live. If I was a sculptor, but then again, no, or a man who makes potions in a traveling show. Oh, I know it's not much, but it's the best I can do. My gift is my song, and this one's for you. And you can tell everybody this is your song. It may be quite simple, but now that it's done, I hope you don't mind, I hope you don't mind that I put down in words how wonderful life is when you're in the world. sat on the roof and kicked off the moss. Well, a few of the verses, well, they got me quite cross, but the sun's been quite kind while I wrote this song. It's for people like you that keep it turned on. So excuse me for forgetting that these things I do, well, you see, I've forgotten if they're green or they're blue. Anyway, the thing is, what I really mean, yours are the sweetest eyes I've ever seen. And you can tell everybody this is your song. It may be quite simple, but now that it's done, I hope you don't mind, I hope you don't mind that I put down in the words how wonderful life is when you're in the world. I hope you don't mind, I hope you don't mind that I put down in the words how wonderful life is when you're in the world. I sing that for lots of people in my life, actually.
You do?
Including my lovely wife.
Which one's that then?
The people we're often very grateful for are people that we meet, we've never met before. And I hope tonight Carol from St Heliers Hospital is watching.
I haven't seen Carol comment, but then she could have been watching it on the other stream.
But
hopefully, Carol, you are here.
Vaccinated me for the first one. I sung a song for them in the unit, and she came and found me, and I had my second vaccination because I'm having the operation, we hope, in April. And she came and found me, and she said it was so moving, so many people were touched by that, remembered it, and everything else. So she came out, and she's gone through a particularly difficult time. Her nephew, at 21, suddenly died. At university, and Sutton is in a bit of a state, and she asked me if I would sing a song. Well, from the new album, from the lockdown album, she listened to it online on the recording. So before we have our first guest on, I'm just going to sing this for Carol, and it's called Bring Him Home from Les Mis. God on hear my prayer in my need. You have always been there. He is young, he is afraid. Let him rest. Heaven blessed. Bring him home. Bring him home. Bring him home. He's like the son I might have known if God had granted me a son. The summers die one by one, how soon they fly, on and on, and I am old and will be gone. Bring him peace, bring him can take, you can give. Let him be. Let him be. If I die, let me die. Let him live. Bring him home. Bring him home. Bring him And that's for Carol, for Helen at St Heliers, who are doing such a fantastic job of vaccinating so many people under very, very difficult circumstances. And actually, that brings us beautifully on to my first guest. Sue, do you want to join me over here?
Hang on, I'll just switch off everything over here.
Turn off the thing. And we have David is going to join us. David, hello. Oh, David, no, hold on. Are you there?
I'm there.
Yes. Are you there, David?
I am indeed. Thanks, Jonathan.
Lovely to have you. Now, David, could you just, as Sue joins us now, she's been pulling out all the furniture as she's moving from one place to the next. David, she'll be embarrassed that I'm going to say that, but Sue has a scientific background. She studied biochemistry at Manchester, and so she's very interested in all of this area and will probably ask more interesting and much more informed questions than I will. I was talking about the virus. David, tell us a little bit, who are you? What do you do? Tell us what your background is.
So I'm a southerner, but lived in Liverpool for over 50 years. Came to university, obviously at the age of 18, from Devon, and thought I might stay for 3 or 4 years, but ended up staying 50 plus years.
Yes.
Oh my word! You just love Liverpool, do you?
Well, I like football.
Ah, well.
There
will be a number of people cheering now then.
Well,
yes, you're doing all right, aren't you, at the moment? I follow rugby, but I understand Liverpool isn't doing badly.
Well, I follow Exeter Chiefs playing rugby, and I follow Liverpool football. So it's
that will do. Exeter's doing well as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So I studied pharmacology. I wanted to do medicine, but messed around a little bit too much in my A level. Didn't get the grade.
Oh, same thing
the
here.
Same thing.
Good company.
Exactly the same.
So I ended up doing something related to medicine, pharmacology, and did an undergraduate PhD, worked for the World Health Organization for a little bit after that, in a contraception program in different parts of the world, and then came back to Liverpool in the same department that I'd studied to be a lecturer, and then rose up to whatever level I am or was.
Which is, I know you're very humble, but he's, ladies and gentlemen, this is Professor Dave back, actually. and so, Dave, you were introduced to us by that lovely member from of the community called John Greenwood. Yep. John, where's my CD Greenwood? That's a long and involved story. And the next CD we're going to make, I'm driving it up. I'm going to deliver it to him myself.
Good.
However, he recommended you, when I put out feelers, I know various doctors and I know various people in various disciplines, but I didn't know anybody in the area that you were involved in. Now, tell us a little bit about, you were involved, you told me a little bit involved, well, a lot involved in the development of the vaccine.
Well, it's not, so my history really is that I've always been interested in viruses. So right from the earliest days of HIV, for example, right at the beginning, Liverpool was a center for getting drug treatment for HIV and studies both in the laboratory and in patients to try to get better treatments for treating HIV. So viruses has always been really important to me, building research groups, and then went into hepatitis, so hepatitis B and hepatitis C, so they're viruses. And then when COVID came along, it was the natural progression to get into drug treatment and see if there were potentially drug treatments. But then obviously a vaccine was going to be the way out. So I got really interested in the vaccine, joined the Oxford vaccine trial very early on. So I've been involved in that kind of thing with the vaccine.
So your background leads you to be, I would say, about 110% more qualified than anybody sitting in this room. Probably, actually, yeah. Okay, and so, in a way, I wanted your take, Dave, on the anti-vaxxers, people who have been, particularly within the Christian community, within certain ethnic minority communities, who have been reticent at very least, some for historical reasons, some because Facebook and Maureen from Basingstoke told them. And so what I wanted to do was have a little bit of clarity from someone who knows, who has no vested interest, apart from the health of the nation and the getting out of this terrible, terrible time that we're in.
No, sure. And I think it's really gratifying in one sense that when you look at older people, the actual vaccination rate in older people is really good, is really high.
Yeah.
The figure yesterday was 24% of people are hesitant or adamant that they won't have the vaccine. And it's higher in the BAME groupings as well. So there are groups that are reticent, and there are Christians, you're right. I mean, I've done a number of programs, and you get questions coming in from Christians, which some of them are absolutely justifiable, and some of them have just been got off Facebook or got off some social media platform, and are really quite, I think, difficult for people if they're really, if they're taking that kind of stuff on board. So, we could go into the kind of questions that are being asked, but I think it's really important that we address those questions. I mean, some are real questions. There's no, some people have got real fears about vaccines.
Yeah.
And it's not just the COVID vaccine, it's other vaccines as well. So there are the anti-vaxxers,
So what would be, let's hear a couple of what you would consider legitimate worries from across the board, not just Christians, but Christians as well. What are legitimate concerns?
So I think a couple of legitimate concerns are people with allergies, for example.
Yes.
If someone's had an allergic reaction to a food, or allergic reaction to penicillin, or an allergic reaction to some medicine, it's hands up. Will I get some really terrible reaction if I take the vaccine? To me, that's a really legitimate concern, but we have to gently say that that is not a contraindication to the COVID vaccine because you've had some allergic reaction in the past. There are a few cases where someone may have had what's called an anaphylactic reaction, which is a really severe reaction. That is a question then to be discussed with healthcare professionals. So around the allergies, that's a realistic question. And then I think from a moral perspective, it's the use of fetal derived cells for making vaccine, which a lot of people, both Christians and non-Christians, have, raised issues about. This is a moral issue that they see. So, you can address that to some extent, but I'm not sure you'll overcome that for everybody, because some people are adamant that any link to an abortion, even though it was 1973, where you had the tissue taken from an abortion, which has then been used in the development of many vaccines at some stage in development of vaccines. So there is a moral issue which people have raised. I could answer it, but I think it's a legitimate.
Knowing the people as I do within the community that we've been involved with here, I think a lot of people have very genuine concerns about their health in terms of if they are not fully healthy themselves, they're very worried, understandably, about side effects. And, there's a lot of concern about that, and a lot of worries and sort of, is it okay for me to have it? Will I feel terribly ill? I know some people have felt terribly ill. Will I get all kinds of side effects? Not people who've had, as you say, anaphylactic response, but people who have genuinely got other health concerns.
No, there are absolutely genuine concerns. My answer is twofold. One is that getting COVID is probably going to be a lot worse than any side effect at all from the vaccine. And looking now, we've vaccinated 17.4 million today people, and analyzing all the data, and we look at it regularly, analyzing all the data, then the number of severe side effects is very, 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 very tiny. I think it's 26 cases of some sort of anaphylactic, which required an EpiPen or required some intervention. And that is both from the UK and from the US. So the numbers of 17 plus another 40 or so million. So you're talking a lot of people. Now,
that's quite staggering, actually, isn't it? When you think about it.
It is. I mean, I know people, as you do probably, who say they had terrible headache or they had stomach problems and it lasted a couple of days, or they felt free, etc. But that is not actually unusual for some vaccines. I've had the flu vaccine every year for the last few years, and one year I felt pretty grotty actually for a day or two.
And the physiological reason for that is, the biological reason for that is that you're putting a bit of stuff into your body that will make you feel. Is that right? Forgive me.
Ask the expert, darling.
Yeah, no. So I mean, what's happening is everyone's got a different immune system, so we react differently to different things that we put into us, if you like. So our immune system, my dear wife's next door. We can go for a walk in the summer. She can get bitten by some mosquito or something, and she'll come up in huge lumps. I can get bitten, it doesn't affect me at all. So we all have these different immune systems, and by putting a vaccine, then some people get stimulated quite markedly, and it can, give them some sort of fever and headache and side effects. So we're all different, and that's the problem. So we need to allay the effects. For me, getting COVID is so unpredictable as to who is going to be affected and who is actually going to get really sick. I've had friends. I've got a doctor friend now who had COVID in May last year, and he's still incredibly unwell, from May last year.
Gosh.
And he was fit, healthy, sport. And so, it's unpredictable. That's the problem.
And I think that's that for us, I think that's it. There is a level of pragmatism here that one has to adopt, is there not? I mean, about this, that you getting it is going to be a whole lot worse. And those that have denied, people have been writing to me as the person who's kind of leading this community, I suppose, and saying, don't you understand? If you inject it, you're injecting the beast into your arm, and all this kind of malarkey. How do you, as a Christian person, respond to that immediately? I have asked them not to write to me such stuff, but to go off and do into Loonies or Us for that kind of thing. I'm a little bit less than patient with it, I have to say. What do you answer people like that?
I mean, I've had dozens of questions, after doing different programs, etc. And the questions, they tend to revolve around sort of core issues, such as the vaccine. For example, the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine is an mRNA vaccine, and that is going to get into your DNA, and you're going to be programmed or something. So it's going to affect your whole state. And also it's programming you in some way, and the kind of thing about Bill Gates having some sort of microchipping.
Yes.
So we're going to be, it's not going to be China where they just follow everybody, but here they're going to follow us wherever we go. And as a Christian, to answer that, to me, it's, we should follow the truth. I mean, as a Christian, we believe that Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. So truth matters.
Yes.
So as a Christian, I would say, is that true? Do you know that's true? Or is that some, made up conspiracy, which is just trying to undermine getting us out of this, pandemic that we're in? So to me, it's truth, which is key.
No, I mean, look, I think we could talk about this for ages, but we're not going to keep you. We're going to let you go and watch whatever, the abduction of the midwives or whatever it is.
It's not on yet.
Oh, it's not on yet. Okay, whatever, whatever that program is. But I just ask you finally, just to say to people out there, could you give them just one big reason to go out, get the vaccine, be protected, and know that it's safe, and that they're going to be okay. Things are going to be all right. You've been working on this for months, and here you are. We've got somebody on the show. Tell us why we should have that vaccine.
No, I mean, I thought very seriously. I'm just over 70, and when they recruited for the AstraZeneca vaccine, then I was one of the very first over 70s to have it.
Gosh.
I thought this was going to be key to our understanding in older people, because it's older people who are primarily affected in terms of hospitalization and deaths. That the way out of this, and the way out of this is the vaccine. There is no question that the way out of this pandemic, and my children and grandchildren and your families, etc., and your community's families, we want to get out of this. We've had enough. Yeah. I mean, basically, haven't we?
Absolutely.
Oh, David. I mean, we were out driving today, and we just said we can't. There are not words to express how much. I've had the second vaccine. I had it on Thursday. Right. Because we've got a kidney operation, hopefully in April. So as I've got the stage 5 kidney disease. Yeah. So it's been quite real for me. But now I feel, the rates on Pfizer were so brilliant. Yeah. I'm recommending everybody to do it. And yes, it was a pain in the arm. And people go, there's going to be a pain in the... Yes. But it's a whole lot better than lying in a hospital on a ventilator.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
On balance. And what was I just say to you, that the nurses, who are operating this, are just so grateful to you guys for having come up with this. You cannot know on the ground in St Heliers Hospital, where they are nose to tail with vaccinations, nose to tail, and they are so grateful to you guys for coming up with it. I mean, David, what can I say to you? But
I mean, I think it's been a remarkable effort by so many people, and I think the NHS, the NHS gets bad press from time to time, but for me, what has happened over the last year has just been remarkable, and there's some really desperately tired doctors and nurses and people out, and we should be supporting them, praying for them, and doing our part.
Yeah.
It's been so good having you on.
Thank you.
Thank you for. I know you're on so many programs. You're in such demand, and if I feel that people are ganging up on me again, what I'll do is I'll give you a call, Dave, and I'll get Dave back. Do you see what I did there? Sorry, I'm a comedian. I lecture at university in that, but I'm not professor yet. Okay, soon.
I love, by the way, the Les Mis bit. I had the privilege of hearing Les Mis on Broadway a few years ago,
fantastic.
And you were so much better.
Oh,
Dave, I'm loving you. I'll send you a record. Leave me your address. We'll send you one of the new records. Okay.
CD, darling.
CD. Sorry, I call it a record. I'm an old man. Forgive me. But what can I say? Dave, brilliant to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on, and thank you for giving up the time.
Thank
God bless you, and have a lovely evening.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks. Bye. What a great man. And he is a man of impeccable taste. Well, that was good. That was the excellent. And I hope actually, for many of you, you've been calmed. Okay? He was a man who developed. How did we get him on? John Greenwood. We're going to give you one of these. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. John, where's my CD? Greenwood. Thank you very much. And and I'm gonna do this little kind of medley. This has been requested for a long time now.
It certainly has. And John Dick, in particular, you were campaigning for it. So here we go.
This is true. I have no idea what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do it, all right?
Yeah, right.
No, I don't.
Yeah. Wow. Everyone really enjoyed that. Really enjoyed that. And
Well, that
actually,
was
can I just
made
say,
up as I went along.
he is a clever old stick, and he's right. He didn't play that earlier. If he did, it didn't sound like that. So, well done. That was fabulous.
right.
Really good. Really good.
Now, we have a few minutes. About a few songs. Here we go. I think we'll do the other ones at the end.
Okay.
We'll
All right
do
then.
the
Which one are you
chocolates.
going to do?
What I'll do is I'll do Fields of
Fields of Gold. This is for our dear friend Anne Wadey, and you asked for this for your birthday a week or two ago, and I'm afraid I missed your message, so a bit late, but nevertheless, we love you, and this is for you.
Thanks, Anne, for all you do. All of it. And for Ruth, your lovely sister. You remember me when the west wind moves upon the fields of barley. You'll forget the sun in his jealous sky when we walk in fields of gold. So she took her love for to gaze a while upon the fields of barley. In his arms she fell as her hair came down among the fields of gold. Will you stay with me? Will you be my love? Among the fields of barley, we'll forget the sun in his jealous sky as we lie in fields of gold. See the west wind move like a lover's soul upon the field of barley. Feel a body rise when you kiss her mouth among the fields of gold. I never made promises lightly. There have been some that I've broken, but I swear in the days still left, we will walk in fields of gold. We will walk in fields of gold. Many years have passed since those summer days among the fields of barley. See the children run as the sun goes down among the fields of gold. You remember me when the west wind moves upon the fields of barley. You can tell the sun in his jealous sky when we walked in fields of gold. When we walk in fields of gold. When we walked in fields of gold. I so love that song. I mean, I can see, I just, the fields of barley. I can see the sun coming, and it's going to be a lovely time.
It's a lovely
this
sort
summer.
of feel, isn't it?
It is.
It's
We saw the sun
just sort of-
shining today.
Yeah, on the barren fields. There weren't fields of barley, were they?
Mark Edwards and I were having a conversation before this started. And I just want to thank Mark for all that he's done to make that album and all the albums that I do. Him and I have and the three of us with Neil, we have a relationship that goes back years and years. And Mark and I just find a way. And Mark is brilliant. He's a genius. And together it forms a collaboration. I'm going to read you something. Hold on.
You find it?
Just finding it.
Let's talk amongst yourselves. He's finding it.
Here we go. This was a review. The same review, in Sorted magazine. I've got a 5-page spread in it with loads of pictures. If you haven't got it yet, get it. Get it. It's available in WH Smith's. Available online. Sorted. Just put that in, and it will come up. And this quarter, I'm in with Cliff Richard, Bear Grylls, and David. What's his? I can't remember the famous actor. And moi. And the lovely Sue Rinaldi did the review for us for Sorted magazine. Now, it comes as special because it's not on the Spring Harvest label. This is on our own label. Mm-hmm. And it says, John Vera, the Lockdown Sessions, Volume 1, reviewed by Sue Rinaldi for Sorted magazine. And she gave it 5 stars out of 5 stars. 5 stars. She said, Jonathan Vera describes himself as a ball of energy, off-the-wall, inspirational, outgoing and funny. Other than enthused about his bass baritone voice and instinctive knack for entertaining audiences, while yet others speak of his innate sense of kindness.
It's true. Deep breath.
All these accolades are deserved, yet at a time of extreme change and restriction, Vera has added new depth and momentum to his already well-adorned journey. And the jewel in his crown is a stunning new album.
You're the jewel in the crown, guys.
As soon as the first lockdown began, Vera was live streaming from his music room every Sunday night, and before long, thousands were joining in. The songs on the Lockdown Sessions volume reflect their requests. Every track is a deluge of musical expertise, where inspired arrangements, Mr. Mark Edwards, thank you, joined forces with Vera's warm and powerful vocals, resulting in a collaboration of creative bliss. Popular songs, Piano Man, Fields of Gold, and What a Wonderful World are very respectfully covered. However, a jazz-dipped Smile, and you will, a smoky, melancholic Autumn Leaves, and a majestic Bring Him Home from Les Mis tap into something extra special. Just remind me, somebody asked me in the unit, I just remembered to sing, David is watching tonight, to sing King of Kings' Majesty, so I've got to throw that in as well.
Okie doke, I'll write that down.
American Civil Rights Anthem, I Wish I Knew How It Would Feel to Be Free, made famous by Nina Simone's poignant and concert regulars, Go Peaceful, featuring Susan Vera, showing the lead vocal, and The Lord Bless You and Keep You are musical markers of the comfort and friendship the online community consistently received. That was you guys, okay? Your musical markers of the comfort and friendship the online community consistently received, and it did from us and from each other. Carole King's You've Got a Friend, featuring the JV Virtual Choir, says it all. More than just an album, brilliant though it is, the Lockdown Sessions is a heartening testament to the power of music and shared experience. Susan Rinaldi, that is a beautifully
Superb.
worded, beautiful wordsmithery.
Thank you.
But thank you for that review, and we trust that you will go and buy it. Come and buy it from us, and get it into your CD. Give it to friends. We would love to help you do that. I'm going to sing another song. What's the time?
It's 5:02.
So I've got one song.
So
yes, you got a friend.
Hillary's
I'm afraid.
standing by, so you've got time to do one song,
Which is You Got a Friend, I think. We're going to do that now because actually get your vocal cords around this. Okay, You've Got a Friend. And Susan will join me now. Then we're going to have our second guest. And it's a really lovely guest. What happened was we recorded it earlier in the week and we didn't realise there was an echo on the line. And Hillary, bless her little cotton socks, lovely woman that she is, has agreed to come back on tonight and do the show live with her dogs. Because it's a lovely charity. We'll tell you about it in a minute. Just wait for this. There are loads of them, all right? You're going to love it. I did love it, and I'm loving Hillary. So, here we go. When you're down and troubled and you need some love and care, nothing is going right. Close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night.
And everyone join in, including you, Hillary.
You just call out your name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you gotta do is call, and I'll be there. Yes, I will. You've got a friend. If the sky above you grows dark and full of clouds, and that old north wind begins to blow, keep your head together now and call my name out loud. Soon I'll be knocking at your door. Come on, everybody, let's hear you sing it. Sing your heart out. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Spring, summer, or fall, all you gotta do is call, and I'll be there. Yes, I will. Middle section. Now, ain't it good to know that you've got a friend when people can be so cold? They'll hurt you and desert you, take your soul if you let them, but don't you let them. Right, all together now. Sing together. Will you just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Spring, summer, or fall, all you gotta do is call, and I'll be there. Yes, I will. You've got a friend. Oh, darling, you've got a friend. My sweet darling. Come on, one more time. You've got a friend. Okay, do it again. Come on, one more time. You've got a friend. You're so good. I want you to sing it. Oh, one more time. Oh, yes. You've got a friend. Last time. This is absolutely last time. You've got a friend. Sue, come and join us.
Just had to do a bit of muting so we don't get any echoes, and I'll pick my way through these wires. Here we are.
Oh, and I've just received. Now, are you there, Hilary?
I am.
She is.
Now, we welcome... Do you know what, Hilary? I don't know your surname. What's your surname?
Armour.
Armour. As in armour. Oh, Armour, there you are. Is he Amour, actually, isn't it? Let's be honest. You are. Oh, is she on? Is she on? I can't hear her.
Me? Yes,
Oh,
I
yeah,
am.
there we are.
Oh,
There
yes,
you
there
are.
we are.
There
yes.
you are.
Dog's
There you
having
are.
a little woof.
Now that's very nice. Now, Hilary, I've just this second received from a good friend of mine, having gone through the show, and Colin Matthews. He will hate the fact that I've asked him, Reverend Colin Matthews. He's sent this poem. I must read it, and it says, "Do you know the R.S. Thomas poem? I have seen the sun break through to illuminate a small field for a while, and gone my way and forgotten it. But that was the pearl of great price, the one field that had treasure in it. I realise now that I must give all that I have to possess it. Life is not hurrying on to a receding future, nor hankering after an imagined past. It is the turning aside, like Moses of the miracle of the lit bush, to a brightness that seemed as transitory as your youth once, but is the eternity that awakes you." Isn't that lovely?
Wow,
Isn't that
beautiful.
beautiful?
Really beautiful.
It's lovely. And thank you, Colin, for that. Now, now that's all done, I need
We
to put
have
my
Hilary
clock on.
back. And Hilary, you have some extra guests with you, don't you?
One or two, yes, one or two. I'd like to introduce you.
Yes, please.
Please do.
Come on.
Here's
We
my
want to see them.
camera. So, here's
Oh, there
Daisy.
she is.
And behind Daisy is Reggie, who's being quite noisy. He was singing along to "You've Got a Friend." Reggie, little. Yes, you were. Now, I don't know if we can.
Oh.
That's Ellie back there.
Oh, Ellie, she's relaxed, isn't she?
Yeah. And now where's the? Hang on a minute. I'm afraid we've got to go under the desk for this one.
Okay.
Here's
Oh, there he is. He likes under the desk, doesn't he?
Yeah. So Dooney likes it under there. He's staying out of trouble. He doesn't like the camera. He's saying, "What's that?" And I'm missing somebody. Oh, here she is. Right over my shoulder here. I don't know if I can actually get the camera over here.
Is she there? Number 5? Ah, there she
There
is.
she is. The Cavapoo.
There
she
she's,
is.
the Cavapoo. Yeah.
So we've got Doon coming out to say hello now.
Hello, June. There you are.
Gorgeous
And,
boy.
so all the dogs have a job in the charity. So Daisy is actually my son's assistant dog. One of them are my son's assistant dog. She's also, we've got our fingers crossed that she's going to have babies.
Ooh.
She's a brood
Daisy.
bitch for the charity. Reggie is what we call an accidental assistance dog, but he does a very good job. Doon is currently being trained as one of our what's the word I'm looking for? Demonstration dogs. I'll explain about that in a second. And Kyla is a brood bitch. She's had 2 litters of puppies, and her puppies are busy working in the charity. You can see lots about her puppies sort of on our website, but also on our social media.
Mm-hmm.
And Ellie started out life as an assistance dog, but decided it really wasn't for her. So she's now a dog model. Aren't you, Ellie Bob Bobs? And yes, that's you we're talking about, Buggy that tail. She is so we're training her for film work as well, because we're all in the wrong job, folks. Dogs actually do quite well out of doing film work and modelling.
So do they
work.
get paid for doing roles?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, they can get paid. They can get sort of paid over £500 a day, sometimes £1,000.
Wow.
They're getting paid more than I am, Hilary. What's going on?
But you see, Ellie is really generous, because all the money that she earns as a dog model, she hasn't done much yet. She's done a couple of little bits, but she gives it to the charity.
Well, it doesn't go to. She doesn't go out and buy stuff for herself. You mean?
No, all those shampoo and sets that she has every week. No, I'm afraid that comes out of our pocket. But her money goes back into the charity.
Oh, look, you got. Here's the pug. Here's the pug.
Hello,
I think
Reggie.
Reggie just wants in on the act.
Hello, Reggie. Do you know the history of Glyndebourne?
Oh yes, I do. Yes.
Right. Well, pugs were big with Lady Mary.
Yes.
George and Mary, and we went for lunch once at their house, didn't we? And we were pugged.
There were so many
We
of
were
them.
sitting at their house, and of course, we just all we talked about was the dogs, basically, for the whole lunchtime, and it was wonderful. Actually, it was marvellous. So, you know, Glyndebourne has models, little statues of pugs everywhere.
Yeah, I've been to Glyndebourne a number of times, and actually, my very best friend, who's a singer, Stella Woodman, I was texting with her, and she said that she'd worked with you at Glyndebourne. So that was
really?
that was earlier on. So I'm dying to find out, because I might have actually been and watched you there, John.
Oh, right.
It's likely. I was there for years. I mean, I was a Glyndebourne baby, and then did years and years of doing all their kind of big roles. You know, that's what I did there. It was a home for me, and my car knew the way to get there. Anyway, I don't want to talk about me. I want to talk about you, because you are a very, very interesting person. We had an interview on Thursday. It all went slightly sideways but you didn't start out running a charity called Dogs for Autism, did you?
No.
What did you start as, Hilary?
I started out as a musician. So I went to the Royal Northern College of Music. I was a viola player and a singer, and I became a Baroque viola player.
Stop a minute. Stop. You know.
Shall I get in there first?
You know what I'm going to say, don't you? You know, I was a viola player too, and I got sick and tired of it, so I thought, that's it. Threw the viola out of the window, went down to the shop, and the viola player, nobody talks to them, nobody in the orchestra talks to them, no, the conductor doesn't look at them, nothing interest is written for them. So I thought, right, I can't have this. So I threw the viola out the window, went down the shop, and I said, hello, I'd like to buy a flute, please. The man looked at me and he said, you're a viola player, aren't you? I said, well, how do you know? He said, well, for a start, this is a fish and chip shop. So I couldn't live like that. How did you? What did you?
Well, I was perfect in the role, actually, Anthony. To be honest, I was on tour. I played with the European Union Baroque Orchestra, and
Yes.
And I did a couple of tours with the London Classical Players, which was wonderful.
Yes.
With the Salzburg
Yes.
Festival, which was just so memorable. But
Yeah.
we were in Brussels. I can't remember. I think it might have been European Union Baroque, this one. We were in Brussels, and we went into the information shop, and I looked at one of the booklets there. I said, oh, look. I said, it says viola. And one of the violinists leaned over and he said, Hilary, it says voila. So I was kind of just a walking viola joke, really, to be perfectly honest. But I know many, don't get me started on viola jokes. I made it my business to know more viola jokes than anybody else.
Anybody, so you could tell them. Exactly.
People under the table.
Exactly. But what happened? Tell us.
So I worked as a viola player. I did a bit of professional singing along the way, some oratorio work, and did some, but mostly it was viola playing. And I had to stop playing for a while. I had an injury, and during that time, I looked sort of to my second great passion, which was animals, and I did my sort of animal behavior and training diplomas and that type of thing, and I worked as a violin teacher, and because of my neck injury that I had, I wasn't going to be able to play full-time again, although I did do some lovely work. I reinvented myself as a violinist. Shh, don't tell anybody.
No, nobody will know. They won't believe you anyway.
No. Back in the second. But anyway, I did. And so I did manage to work again orchestrally, which was so wonderful because it was such a passion. But anyway, I went off and I took a teaching qualification and I went into teaching. And boy, I loved it. I really found a niche there. It was fantastic. And I became very, very passionate about giving children the same incredible experiences with music that I'd had as a young musician growing up, which are almost indescribable unless you've been there. So did all that, and then I got married and I had my family, and my son Marcus, who is now 14, it became obvious when he was about 2.5 that things weren't quite as we expected them to be, and it turned out that he has autism. And Marcus has what we would call classic autism. He has complex needs. He's only partially verbal. He can say plenty, and he can be very cheeky, but he can't actually have a conversation. But yeah, so he's to special school. And I just needed to immerse myself in that life so that I could support him. And then, you know, I bought him a dog because I love dogs, and I thought it would be great. And they just kind of rubbed along with each other, but didn't like each other particularly very much. They ignored each other. And it wasn't until we had a chocolate Labrador who came to stay with us called Angus for a holiday. And they built this amazing bond together. And my husband and I suddenly looked at each other and said, do you know what? The right dog might make a big difference for Marcus. So that's how our journey with assistance dogs began.
But you can I just interrupt you? You told us a story about how
you really noticed how
on one
significant
particular
it was.
occasion.
Yeah. Well, so Angus, who's actually Dune's uncle, interestingly, Angus could hear Marcus. Marcus was very upset. He had a meltdown, which is it's kind of different than a tantrum, really. It's a big sort of emotional dysregulation, a big episode of emotional dysregulation, which takes a long time. You know, it kind of erupts like a volcano, and then there are aftershocks, and it takes time. And you know, parents of children with autism really understand this cycle. And whilst it was going on, little did we know that Angus, who wasn't actually allowed upstairs in his own house, was belly crawling up the stairs and crept into the room after Marcus had sort of started to calm down, and got up on the bed and lay himself next to Marcus. And Marcus leant into him and put his feet up around him and put his head on him and immediately calmed down.
Oh,
wow.
my word. I mean, that's breathtaking and very emotional, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes. And I'm so lucky because, you know, now that this is my life and this is my world, and I'm working with families all over the UK, when those moments happen, it's like somebody's giving you the best Christmas present ever, you know. And they're kind of life-changing, really, because one of the hardest things about parenting autism is that, you know, all you want to do is, if your children are unhappy, you just want to fix it for them, you know. You want to huddle them, you want to make the world right. And the trouble is, because of the difficulties that some autistic people have with human relationships and contact, as a parent, often you can't do that, and sometimes you even make it worse. So to know that actually there is a friend that your child has who can press those comfort buttons is incredible.
So where did you go from there? Did you keep Dune, or did you find another dog for Marcus?
Oh no, we weren't allowed Angus. We weren't allowed to keep Angus. No, he was. I did suggest it, and they came around quite sharpish and nipped him back. But no, we went off and we looked for a dog for Marcus, and I'm just going to let the pug bark a little bit. Is that okay?
No, of course, we don't mind.
We know they're there, so it's
you know,
fine.
you can't have dogs. They're dogs. You know.
He's blackmailing me for fishy sprats. That's what's happening.
To be honest, I'd give it to him. I need some myself.
I'll just chuck a few over there and let him.
Star of stage and screen. Let him have it.
So we started looking for a dog for Marcus, and we found an amazing dog called Dave, and he was
a dog called Dave.
Dave. Well, he was actually a huge Doberman. He wasn't sold to us as that, but that's what he looked like. And the people who got him after us DNA tested him and said, yes, that's exactly what he is. But he just wasn't really suitable as an assistance dog, just because he was of his breed characteristics. And, you know, if I'd known now what I knew now, I definitely wouldn't have got him. But anyway, so we started out with Dave, and then he had a Labrador called Yogi, who had to have elbow surgery, so it sort of couldn't work. And now he has Daisy, the golden.
And Daisy is that lovely blonde dog that you've got. Is that right?
Yeah, Daisy's. She's here. She's saying, you're talking about me.
Yeah, she's a very pretty girl, isn't she?
Yes.
Hilary,
yes.
What difference does it make to Marcus on a sort of day-to-day basis having Daisy?
Right. So for us and for Marcus, really, the huge difference is that we can go out. We can go out as a family, and so Marcus is someone who will abscond and he'll bolt. Even now at 14, given half a chance, he's off. And
Really?
the trouble is that once he's run away, which he thinks is fantastic, he then realizes when he's lost that he can't explain who he is or where he needs to go, or it actually becomes really quite a fractious, frantic and anxious time when that happens. And obviously he can get himself into all sorts of trouble. But with his dog, we walk with the dog, and I handle Daisy, and then Marcus wears what we call a tummy lead, a tether around his tummy that's on a sort of elasticated bungee that kind of is attached to the back of the dog, and it used to be a handle, but now that he's older, it's a lead. And so yes, that's you we're talking about. So he can walk along quite happily. I'm not having to hold him. His dog's by his side. People smile at him.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what he's doing. Sometimes he kind of we walk along and he's literally jumping up and down in the air, doing froggy jumps and squealing and tapping things on the floor. But we just carry on. And he sort of carries on next to his dog, and people see the dog and they see the jacket and they see the situation and they just and they understand. They're understanding. Whereas if you're walking around with a child whose behaviour is really dysregulated, certainly in a few years ago, if things weren't going well, Marcus would be lashing out and kicking and trying to bite and screaming, throwing himself on the floor. When he's got his dog, he really doesn't do that.
That's fantastic.
It just settles him. It settles him.
What is that about? What is that about? Can you tell me? There must be some physiological triggers that happen between the dog and the. What is it?
I don't know.
Well, at least you're honest. I mean, there must be some.
I mean, I do know the other way around that dogs really can. Hang on a minute, Reg. Come here.
Reg. I like the Reg. I like the way
Reggie.
Dave and Reg.
Dave.
I'm sorry.
Dave.
That's all right.
Dave
Reg
and
just
Reg.
wants
Hello,
to come and say
Reg.
That's fine.
So he's now snorting. I might just put him outside in a minute. So
No, snorting. I like snorting. Snorting is what a pug does.
Snore.
Yeah.
What it is, I think one of the things is that, when Marcus is connected to his dog, he feels safe.
Yeah.
Yes.
He knows that he can't run away, but he also knows that he's got some independence. So I'm not hanging on to him. So there isn't that sort of anxiety. So you haven't got the mummy anxiety of, oh my goodness, if I let go of him, he's off.
No.
And you've got a sort of 8, 9, 10-year-old boy saying, I don't want to hold my mummy's hand in public, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay. But when he's connected to his dog, he's got that feeling of space around him, but he's got that connection and it grounds him. Now, I've got a friend who has autism and who is what we call a high-functioning autistic person. Yes. So she's able to express how she feels about things. And the way she talks about her dog, she says, if she's out and about without a dog in an environment she's not certain of, if she's a bit anxious, if she has to speak to people she doesn't know, she feels like she's floating in the air, and she feels like she doesn't know where she's grounded, and it's a very unnerving feeling. And also that, and when she's feeling like that, when her anxieties go up, all of the sensory issues come in, like sound and smells and busyness and it all becomes very overwhelming. But she says
too much for her.
Her dog's lead, it's almost like she's a balloon that's been grounded.
Right.
And she can look at her dog and she can talk to her dog. And so, that's, we do know that. But also dogs, once they get to know the people they're working with, are very attuned to their behaviour, and they can actually
and they can just one word from you and the dog stops barking. It's just
they can
yeah, it never happens, does it? And it certainly doesn't happen when you're on.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm taking over here. So does the dog almost anticipate a stressful trigger moment? and sort of it's there quickly.
Yeah. And some dogs do it naturally, and some dogs you can actually teach to do it.
Right.
And you know, that is something that we're looking at very closely as a charity, some research work that really hasn't been done with autistic population. But we do know that some of our dogs will warn that a meltdown's coming way before the parents can see any change in behaviour.
So what we'll call animal instinct.
It's probably a chemistry thing.
Yeah, I think so.
No,
look, I've got to find out a little bit about how you ended up running this charity, because it's an extraordinary charity, and you said that you had, how many requests last year did you say you had?
1,599.
1,599
for autistic,
and for
dogs to help with
for
autism.
people to help with autistic people. And how many dogs did you actually have to give out?
Last year, 7. I think we actually started off 7 new dogs last year, maybe
7.
Maybe 8.
So there are 1,592 people who are out there who are needing this, who could make a huge difference to their lives. Is that right?
Well, you know, a dog isn't going to help every autistic person, but where it does help, it's utterly life-changing. It means they can do things that they couldn't do before. So for someone like Marcus, who needs a dog to look after him when he's out and about, that's life-changing for us. It means we can go out and about.
Yes.
For people who need a dog to help them get out of the house, because their anxieties are such that the transition from inside the house to outside the house and what might happen when they're outside the house is too much, so they don't go out. But if their dog is trained to look after them, and if their dog is trained on command to remove them from a situation that's becoming overwhelming, or if their dog is trained to sort of do, you know, road safety work and things like that, then they think, well, I can do it. Because actually, if I do go into Sainsbury's and it's all too much, I'll give my dog the cue, and my dog will just take me out.
Rachel, have you got any pics that you can, just while we're talking, that you can give us some pics of the dogs in training or and around about? Just see if she can. She's on the stream, so it's going to take a few seconds to come through. But let's keep talking at the same time.
Yeah. It's interesting what you were saying, Jonathan, about the numbers. Because the way that our model works in Dogs for Autism, where the dog immediately goes and lives with a professional trainer, we pay our trainers, and the dog lives with the trainer, and the trainer is trained in autism and to work with the family, and then that sort of becomes a unit, and the dog sort of over time ends up living with the family. That model is so repeatable that we can do it over and over and over and over again.
Right.
I mean, naturally, there are 2 things standing in our way. The first one is infrastructure.
Yes.
But we've worked really hard at that, and we have a really, really sound infrastructure. So we can grow quite quickly if we get the money, which is actually, you know, the main thing. Because I'm absolutely committed to Dogs for Autism becoming, for the autistic community, what Guide Dogs for Blind is for the.
That is a brilliant notion, Hilary. That is so. I'm so glad that Tracy, our neighbour, has mentioned you, and because it really did. Tracy and Dave, and I'm so glad, because we would. Do you know what? I had no idea it existed. I got to be honest, I didn't. I knew Guide Dogs for Blind, but I had no thought. And we know so many. I teach people at university who are autistic, and it's really tricky stuff, and I know something tricky for them, and I'm fully aware that this is a need.
It's about helping somebody actually gain independence. It's not dissimilar from a guide dog, and the way a guide dog might help a blind person open up their world a little, you know, and be able to do things that they couldn't do before because they've got a dog. And it's, you know, it's that same thing. And there are so many. I mean, I think there are 700,000 at the last count, 700,000 people diagnosed with autism in the UK.
Wow.
Gosh.
And if there's autism within a family, it affects everybody in the family.
Yes.
You know, so you're looking at like 1.5 to 2 million people in this country daily, you know, living with autism and sort of getting from one end of the day to the next, because sometimes that's what it's like. And our dogs can just, make that. And a lot of the families, it's so interesting when people write about their experiences and they do reviews or write references for us, they will often say the dog hasn't just helped our child, it's helped the whole family.
Can you give us just a quick example of, I know you've given us lots already, but of someone who's really been helped in a practical way by having a dog?
Yes, I mean, yeah, I think sometimes it's quite easy to see how it might help a child.
Yes.
But I think for our adult autistic community, we are the only charity in the UK that provides dogs for adults, for people over the age of 10, actually.
Right.
There are a couple of not-for-profit organisations who do as well, but we're the only charity because so we've got a young lady called Emily who's at university and who really wasn't managing to get to lectures, to finish assignments, and in the mix of that, her mental health was suffering. And she won't mind me saying, because she said this publicly, she was suicidal.
Yeah.
And we partnered her with a dog. And last year, 12 months ago, actually, and recently they wrote a reference for us for our application to Assistance Dogs International. And in that, they said that if it hadn't, they basically said, my dog has saved my life.
Right.
That's fantastic.
Even though those thoughts haven't gone away, I've got a purpose to stay.
Yes.
And, I wouldn't dream of leaving her behind. She is my everything. But also, it means that if I'm a little bit late for a lecture, I can still walk through the door.
Yes.
When I walk through the door, it doesn't matter if I'm not sure where to sit, because someone will be like, oh, it's the person with the dog, come and sit next to me.
Yeah.
And also and they've also said it's so much easier to have conversations because I can talk about my dog.
Yes.
Yeah. And et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes.
That's fantastic. Look, Hilary, we've look at this. We've spoken for 27 minutes already. We need to know about, because we're going to show a little video from that you've made. And we just need to know how could literally give us how we can help, how people out there in the JV community can give, how can they, because that's what we do here. They're very, very generous, this bunch, and many of them are animal lovers, and I'm sure that they've been moved by what they've heard today, and will want to be generous to you. Well,
thank you, Jonathan, and I'd like to say as well, thanks for this opportunity, because I've really enjoyed being here. Yeah, so I mean, really, what we need mostly, naturally, is money. And we are, at the moment, we're still a young charity. We still live hand to mouth. We're not yet in a position where we've got financial reserves for things. We would like to start off another 10 dogs in 2021, and it costs £20,000 per dog to train a dog up to that. So. Right. Yeah. So on our website, there's a donate here button, and there are different ways to donate. You can set up a monthly amount. You can just do a little one-off donation. Keep an eye on our Facebook posts, because there's always donating opportunities on there. Yeah. If you hook up with us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, you'll see some of the fundraising
activities. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Hilary, you've been such a trooper coming on once again, despite the tech failures. And our techie team, they worked so hard to get everything right. And it was my fault. I think I left the speaker on, and therefore it echoed. So it was my fault. I should have checked that. Thank you for giving up your evening, when in fact you should be watching Hunt the Midwife or reruns of.
I should be watching your show.
Yes.
Oh yeah, yes. It's a good point you make there, Hilary. It's a good point. We love having you on. Come back and see us again, would you?
Definitely.
And let's see if you can this time. Whenever you say quiet, something like that, the dog goes quivering out of the room, and starts starts reading R.S. Thomas. I don't know. I'm just saying. We're going to have a little video now. Bless you, and say goodbye to the dog. Can you kind of move everything into the dogs so we can say goodbye to dogs?
Bye, dogs.
Goodbye, dogs. I'm missing my dogs so much.
Oh, they're all just snoozing now.
They're all snoozing now. I've sent them to sleep. I know. Ironically,
you're still barking.
they're all asleep.
Here we go.
But there we are.
Bye, Reggie.
Hello, Reggie. Bye-bye, Reg. All right. Bye-bye, Reg. Hillary, thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, Hillary.
Bye.
Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you again. What a lovely interview.
Fantastic.
I love these.
Brilliant.
Because you actually do.
Time traveling down this hard and rocky road. We're all just trying to survive, walking together and sharing the load, doing all we can to stay alive. I believe the journey's nearly over. I believe these troubled times will end. I believe we'll find a better place just around the bend. We may be weary, and sometimes we just don't know how we can keep on keeping on. Take one day at a time and trust that history will show. When we're united, we are strong. I believe the journey's nearly over. I believe these troubled times will end. I believe we'll find a better place just around the bend. So take care of each other, for we all need the hope that heals, the love that mends. Even when the darkness is as far as we can see, the sun will shine again somewhere just around the bend. Of each other, for we all need the hope that heals, the love that mends. Even when the darkness is as far as we can see, the sun will shine again, I believe, just around the bend. Just around the bend. I believe the journey's nearly over. I believe these troubled times will end. I believe we'll find a better place just around the bend. I believe we'll find a better place just around the bend. Just around the bend.
Well, that was the debut of me singing that, beautifully made by Rachel, Claire and Ben, edited by Rachel just recently to get that. It's on the album.
The extra filmed shots of me filming you
Oh, yes, I
singing.
forgot you. That's right, in this room, in this very room, we did that. And it will be on the album as track number 11, actually, we've decided.
The bonus track.
The bonus track on the album. And this one. And it's beautiful. Well done. We hope you enjoyed it. And it's filled with optimism.
This particular song is very special. It's for some very special people tonight. You have to go around again, I'm afraid. Rob and Di, it was your wedding anniversary yesterday. This is for you. And for your, I can't remember which number of years it is, but congratulations. It's also for Lou's friend, Steve Jeffrey. Steve, congratulations. Good news. You've got a new job at Our Lady of Zion School, and this is for you.
Here's life in all its mystery, the beauty and the tragedy, the silence and the symphony, and everything between. Deep inside the heart of man, the need to know and understand. Are we a part of some great plan, or just a passing dream? Philosophers philosophize, but rarely look you in the eyes. And politics is compromise that rides the ebb and flow. Money talks and fashion screams to fill the space inside your dreams. If you want something to believe, I'll tell you what I know. My maker is my savior, my creator is also my friend, and to find him and his favor is all that matters in the end. Spirit of the age decrees. We may not speak in certainties, but that's what Jesus is to me, the bedrock of my soul. A Savior who can really save, a power stronger than the grave, the greatest gift I'd ever have, the dearest joy I know. My maker is my savior, my creator is also my friend, and to find him and his favor is all that matters. He's all that matters. He's all that matters. In the end.
Now, that's for lots of people. If you want to see that in another form, I did it, I think, 2010, wasn't it? I think it was, with the Welsh lad, you know, at the Royal Albert Hall. And we did an interview, and it just put that, go into YouTube, and to that end, become a subscriber to Jonathan Vera, and you will get all the videos. You can just get them. There are, well, I think there must be nearly hundreds now of me singing various different things. The show's going back as far as, but also individual songs, as well as all the album songs, and the television, some of the songs of praise, some of the things like that, and things that I didn't even know were on there. A radio broadcast of different Scottish opera, way back in 1991 or something like that, of a very weird opera. And I suddenly heard myself singing. I was quite good. I had a beautiful voice in those days.
Still pretty nice now, actually.
That's the point. You've got to say, write in now and say, no, you've got a beautiful voice. I'll tell you, it's changed, you see.
Stop hunting.
No, I'm not hunting. It's changed. So, and if Australia is listening, if Lucas is listening, you'll notice that I was trying to sing Aida tonight, actually, mate, and I was going, and this one, that note. And the yeah, exactly, that pins you back, doesn't it?
Yes, it certainly does.
And but that G flat felt awfully high, Lucas. That's all I can say. I used to think, how did I knock out 12 of those each night? But there we are. That's right. Now, this is the song. Let's have a look at the time. Yeah, we're doing okay for time. Now, we are working very hard to get the album out to you for Easter. Claire is working very hard on the lovely different cover that will go. There'll be volume 1, now volume 2, which is lovely. And Claire, your design, Rachel was saying how proud she was that your design, up against all the other albums that I've done, looks really stands the test. And you've done some great things. So we're looking forward to your next offering. And we finished the mastering now, more or less. We've just got to finish that off. And then it's basically to the MCPS for the PRS and all that, performing rights. And then hopefully to the duplicators, and we should have it before we go off to the operation, because if the operation happens, then that's going to be, that hopefully you'll get it before that time. And Auntie Ruth, my sister Ruth, will be here packaging up the parcels. And we've decided, those of you who don't know, although there wasn't quite enough money to do 2 albums, there was enough to do 1.5. We've decided to do it anyway, and we've got a little bit of extra funding that we found from another person, and we're going to put that into it to make sure that you can have, the 360 of you also get that for free.
So those of you who contributed to the crowdfunding, basically that's what I'm saying, that you will get a second copy free of charge, unless you decide that you don't want to have a second copy free of charge, or you want to pay for it or whatever. But if you would
you mean the second album, not the second copy.
The second album, and then
if you'd like to buy another one, that would be great. Yeah. All right. This song, we've called this album Moments. Bryn Howarth, a great singer-songwriter, worked so much with all the great stars as a slide guitar player. John Bound loves him, and he's on this album. And we've got him to sing I Want Jesus. I want Jesus to walk with me. That one. Beautiful. Absolutely fantastic. And he sung with me, duetted me on a song that he wrote. And he phoned me on the day I was doing the recording, and he said, very quietly spoken, is Bryn. And he said, I don't know whether you want to, have a listen to this song. But he played it over the phone. He said to me afterwards, he said, I've never done that in all my years, ever. I've never played a song over the phone. And I listened to it, loved the lyrics so much, and I hope you're going to just love it. It's a song we do together. And these...
These are the moments that we love so well. precious moments caught within a spell. All too soon our lives, they fade away. These are the moments that we wish would stay. And if I had my life to live again, I would choose to be with you, my friend. Time moves slowly and it goes so fast. Who knows how long our days will last? So cherish deep within you the love you get today. And let the moments linger, for tomorrow steals that away. Tomorrow steals that away. These are the memories that we made so well. Lives like stories that we long to tell. And when we're old with not too much to say, we'll have the memories that we made today. We'll have the memories that we made today.
Isn't that gorgeous? I love that. You weren't listening.
It's a beautiful song.
You were writing.
Beautiful.
What were you writing to?
Oh, I'm not telling you.
Oh no, great. Okay. So, Sue, do you want us to just take us through some of the notices?
Oh, not very much tonight. Sorry, Rachel, we're jumping around a bit, aren't we? So, as usual, if you have any questions about the stream and that kind of thing, then it's our wonderful tech team that you need to speak to at JV Live Tech. And they will help you with anything to do with live streams, community stuff. And also they will put up all the details about the Dogs for Autism tonight, so that you can always go there, and all the information that we give out will be on that place. So not a problem. So the address is on your screen as we speak. And Jonathan's covered the whole social media stuff, and all it remains for me to say is...
Records? I'm just asking, you know.
He tells me to do something, then he doesn't trust me to do it. No. Typical. So,
never.
Just very quickly, if you are interested in purchasing any of the CDs available, then if you go to jonathanvera.com, and you can go to the shop and you can listen to little snippets and hear the CDs, and you can decide what you want. Don't forget that there are the books as well. Everything is at knockdown prices at the moment, and apart from the lockdown sessions, which is at a full price of £12, and the Hymns Project 2 is at £10, everything else is £8, which is unbelievable and dead cheap. So just go and have a look and decide what it is you would like to buy. And if you are looking for something for a gift, Jonathan is very happy to sign and dedicate it to someone as a gift. Speaking of gifts, thank you very much to those, and more than thanks actually, we bless you for those of you who give gifts to us. We are just blown away and amazed, and it is keeping us going, so thank you so much. So those of you who donated through PayPal or directly into our bank account, thank you for that. The address is on the screen. It will also be on the website, but it's if you want to know anything, if you go to sue@jonathanvera.com, I can give you the details. So that's the easiest thing to remember, sue@jonathanvera.com.
2 songs.
And there you have it all.
Thank you, my darling. And 2 songs. One which there's a man called David, and I never know I don't know what your surname is, but you asked for a song, and I nearly forgot it. And it was this one from way back when, my first album way back in 1999. It was the song King of Kings, Majesty, God of heaven, living in me, gentle Savior, closest friend, strong deliverer, beginning and end. Can you join me with this, love? All within me cries out in praise, Your Majesty. I can but God, I lay my all before you now. In royal robes I don't deserve, I live to serve Your Majesty. Earth and heaven worship you, God eternal, faithful and true, who brought the nations, ransomed souls, brought this sinner near to Your throne. All within me cries out in praise, Your Majesty. I lay my all before you now. In royal robes I don't deserve, I live to serve Your Majesty. I live to serve Your Majesty. Is there time? I don't think there is. To God be the glory. We'll do it next week. We're going to do it next week, and we're going to sing the two songs. The one that you've been waiting for all night, ladies and gentlemen. And I know. Which song is that, ladies and gentlemen?
The last one.
The Sequin Dress Lady. Have you got sequins on?
No, I have actually.
Actually,
no,
no.
I have.
Here she is in a sequin dress. She flows, and she'll be. What we'll do is we introduce her when she comes to the Northwest Ladies Women's meetings. We're going to just do. It's only one song. So, but anyway, to be fair, Sue, they're not going to be ready for one song, and then they're going to be all pushing their wheelchairs back home. So, you know, it's okay. One song will be enough. Okay, that's what I'm saying to you. All right. I might try it with the actual arrangement. From the album Lockdown Sessions 1. Go peaceful in gentleness through the violence of these days. Give freely, show tenderness in all your ways.
Through darkness in troubled times, let holiness be your aim. Seek wisdom, let faithfulness burn like a flame.
God speed you, God lead you, and keep you wrapped around His heart. May you be
God hold you, enfold you, and keep you wrapped around his heart. May you be known by love. God hold you, enfold you, and keep you wrapped around his heart. May you be known by love. Impeccably sung by my lovely wife. For those of you who would like to hear more from her, she will also be doing a single of "Let Me Take You by the Hand," she'll be also.
I think he's mocking
She'll
me.
be playing balalaika and recording it in multi-stereo. What?
Can I just cut across that? I just want to say happy birthday, Princess Caroline. I'm sorry, I should have mentioned Just Around the Bend was for you. I know you do know it. Marion asked for it for you, and that song was in there for you. So happy birthday for Tuesday, I think. It's your birthday.
Our mistake. And now, one of the things we're considering doing is at some point doing an audio book.
Yes.
It is something that we've talked about, and the company aren't particularly interested in doing it because it will make no money. It will mean an awful lot of time, and a lot of time spent in the studio with Rachel here, reading the book out loud on a thing.
We're talking about Jonathan's first book, Finding My Voice, for me, it's logical. He's got a beautiful speaking voice, and it's his story. And I think he would read it particularly well. So I think that's something that we can do to keep you busy.
It was a dark July morning, 1960, the 15th of December. Jonathan Vera was born.
The railway
This
first came to
summer.
Harlesden.
Yeah, let's not start with that. No. Anyway, so we're going to finish now. And please, do not write in and saying, you're looking very tired. I don't want to hear that, okay? It could be because I'm tired today. And dialysis takes it out of me. So, yes, the dialysis does take it out of me. But don't be too sorry for me. There are lots of people who are doing a lot worse than I am. And just thank you for your concern. But don't go to bed, quick. No, that. We don't do that. The Lord bless you and keep you. Numbers chapter 6 in the Bible, in the Old Testament. And this goes back way, way back. And we sing this every night. Those of you who've been with us tonight, this is what we do. It's a blessing that the priest normally gives at an Anglican service, or indeed at any service, really. And we sing it together, and it goes like this. We hope you enjoyed this week.
They have.
Very different. Our lovely guests, Dave and Hilary, who gave so generously of their time. Who knows what's going to happen next week? I have no idea. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine on you. The Lord bless you and keep you and give you his peace. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine on you. The Lord bless you and keep you and give you his peace and give you his peace. Can you sing this? The Lord bless
bless you and keep you and be gracious to you. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord turn his face toward you. The Lord bless you and keep you and be gracious to you and be gracious to you. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine on you. The Lord bless you and keep you and give you his peace and give you his peace. God bless you. See you next week.
Have a good week, people.
Have a good week and look after each other. Be kind and have your vaccination and get on with it.
Bye. Look after yourselves.